Yo, 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 peace and many, many blessings to you and your family. It's another great day that God has made. I'm claiming that all is well with you and your family. All right, you are now tuned into Righteous Vibrations. I'm your host, Joe Nell, aka Chosen Joe, if you would. All right, and we're going to talk about the abuse of alcohol today. All right, so as you can see, the title is The Blueprint to End Alcohol Abuse. All right. So, the reason for this video, number one, is not to judge anybody or anyone who drinks. Um, it's not to judge anyone at all. All right. It's more about just awareness of alcohol abuse and what it does to people and their families. It's about helping out others who also struggle. All right. So, I'd like to start off by saying, come November, it'll be 3 years for me since I've been alcohol free. All right, so that's something to celebrate. All right, it has not been easy. I'll just not to drag it out with the introduction, but I will say, hey, first of all, I'm an open book. You know, there's a lot of things that I did in the past on alcohol, being abusing alcohol, should I say, that I'm not proud of. But at the same time, I will say, growing through things and different experiences, uh, it has helped me to become the man that I am today. Which still not perfect at all. Still got a lot of things I'm figuring out. But that's what it's about. Life is a series of never-ending lessons. So if you struggle, if you're struggling with alcohol, this video is for you. Now, I would like to say, some people can drink in moderation and be just fine. This video is not for you. All right. Well, I shouldn't say that. And the reason why I want to rephrase that is because maybe you know someone who's struggling with alcohol and they probably tried to quit over and over and over and it's just not working for them. So I'm not an expert by no means at all, but I just want to share my story. All right. So how did the abuse start? Let's go with that. And like I said, I'm looking at my notes because I ramble a lot. I tend to ramble a lot, so I want to stay on track here. So basically, how did the abuse start with me? So I started off drinking. First time I got drunk was 16 years old. I was 16 years old. All right. And really, to be honest with you, I know a lot of people have this sad, long drawn out story and tragedy and all that. Nothing against them, but I'm just being honest. That wasn't the case for me. That wasn't the case at all. I'm gonna be honest. I just started out with it started out just having fun. That's what I called it. I just want to have some fun and see what it's like to drink. Well, that was fine, but as time went on and I kept drinking, having fun, partying, clubbing, sometimes just being over a friend's house and just chilling out, it just became more and more a part of who I was, you know what I mean? Or who I thought I was. And it got to the point where I felt like I couldn't have fun without drinking, right? So then there are some things that did happen, like, getting promoted at my job and just going through a lot of stress, a lot of drama at the job, at the work site, just horrible culture. And it did cause me to drink more. But I won't even use that job as an excuse. It was my choice to keep drinking, to continue to drink and do harm to myself and my family and friends and even some coworkers, different things like that. So that's how it started. I swear up and down that I had control over it until I didn't have control over it. All right. So that's one of the things, that's the way it gets you. You tell yourself over and over, I got control of this. Yeah, I'm probably drinking quite a bit. I'm having fun, but it's okay. Like, I got control over it. That may be the case with some people. I'm not saying that it's impossible to have control over. I see people in my family, friends. I know people all around me that drink and they got control over it, where they'll have a few drinks, they'll get the buzzing, and they feel, start to feel a little a little bubbly, you know what I mean, feel a certain type of way, and they say somebody offered them a drink and they're like, nah, I think I've had enough. I think I've had enough. I'm good to go. I still got to drive home and all this different things. Hey, I take my hat off to you. Seriously. I wish that was the case for me. Not everybody has that willpower, or some people choose not to even have that willpower. So we got to understand people, and this, when I say we, I mean people that struggle with alcohol, that some people have what they call a chemical imbalance. Now, I'm no doctor, I'm no expert, I've already said that, and that's where the rambling come in. So I may repeat myself quite a bit. That's just because I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I'm just starting YouTube, but it's okay. I like this because y'all get to see the growth in me, and we can grow together, network, and different things like that. So I kind of lost my place, but I will say, you know, I take my hat off to people that have control. I thought I did have control, so I didn't. I thought I had control, probably did, until I didn't anymore. So that's the thing. That's how it gets you. Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, there's a chemical imbalance on certain vices that people choose, where you may be able to drink and be just fine. You know your limits, and you're like, I'm good. Me, there was no limit when it came to drinking. Probably till I just couldn't literally drink anymore because I'm probably sick at the stomach or something like that. But I can't figure that part out. And that's why I say I'm not an expert. But what I will say, I found a way to conquer it, first through God, the Most High. You know, I really hope I'm not offending anybody by speaking about God, but that's just my belief. Okay, so I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. God is who brought me through all this. With the work of myself, but working through me and my family and different things like that, and friends. So I give God all the praises, and I owe it all to God. So that's how I was able to conquer it. All right. So what did I do? Okay. I'm not here to tell you what to do, right? The person speaking, when I say you, I'm speaking of the person who is struggling with alcohol. My best thing, I feel like my best way to help people is to share my experiences. That's just what I do. That's who I am. So what I did, what Jonell did, Chosen Joe, what I did. First of all, before I go into this, I had so many failed attempts. Let's back up a little bit. Let's go through my attempts. So some of my first attempts was, you know what? I'm just going to drink, because let me back up a little bit more. Sorry, I'm all over the place. The notes aren't really helping too much, but let's start out by this. I literally used to drink every single day, 7 days a week. No day off, 7 days a week. I drink beer. Scotch was one of my favorite liquor, or I call it hard liquor. Scotch was my favorite. Hennessy was my favorite. And beer. Michelob Ultra. I'm just being honest with you. I told y'all I'm an open book. That's what it was, right? So literally every night when I got off of work, I would stop by the liquor store, and I would get either some Hennessy or some Johnny Walker Black Label, and I would get a 6-pack of Michelob Ultra. And what I would do is I drink my drink what they call neat. That was my style, you know, room temperature, no ice, no chaser. Actually, I did have a chaser. Guess what the chaser was? So I would take a sip of my Scotch or my Hennessy or whatnot, and then I would chase it down with beer. All right, 7 days a week. All right, 7 days a week. Now, I will say, and by no means am I bragging when I say this, I considered myself as what you would call a functioning alcoholic. So if you don't know what that is, to me, the way I can define it is I never got fired from a job because I was drunk or drinking. I never drank on a job. I never drank before I went to work, or different things like that. I never called in because I had a hangover. Definitely went to work plenty of days with hangovers and taking it out on people and different things like that. Like it's their fault that I stayed up and played a video game and got drunk and only 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And now I'm grouchy, short with everyone, and going to work, taking it out on people. So I was doing that. But I will say I never like was borrowing money or calling people to get money to support my habit. I always made enough money to support my habit. And like I say, I was still going to work, paying my bills or contributing to my bills, and different things like that. Like I say, always still punctual, different things like that. So to me, in my mind, that's what I define as a functioning alcoholic. Bills were paid, still going to work, different things like that. So by no means, again, am I bragging. I just felt like that was worth bringing that up. So anyway, how I started, my fault. I was talking about the attempts. So I started off like, you know what? I knew that I was drinking too much, right? Because it's not good for your health. If you drinking 7 days a week, call it what you want, even if it's not about, I don't know, even if you like, well, I got good relationships with people, I'm doing well at work. Even with all that, the abuse and you drinking 7 days a week, at the end of the day, it's definitely going to work on your health in a negative way. So let's keep it real. All right. There's no way you're going to be able to drink liquor, hard liquor, and beer 7 days a week and your body doesn't pay the consequences. You know what I mean? And your mind also. And your mind, your body, and your spirit. So let's just be honest with that. I know it may sound cliche. They say this in the AA meetings, which I went a couple of months. Just didn't really work out for me. I found a different way. I just seek God and went deep within. But they will tell you in AA, it sounds cliche, but the first step is admitting. I'm just being honest. That's it, as cliche as it sounds, that's the truth. I fought it for years and like, I'm not an alcoholic because I was a functioning alcoholic. I got that confused with me not being an alcoholic because I was still able to function and go to work and, like I say, show up, do well at my job, getting promoted and everything. So that led me to think that I was okay, but I wasn't. I'm telling you, I couldn't have been more wrong than anything in my life. I was not okay. All right. So let's be honest. So I had to finally go ahead and admit that my life had become unmanageable. The liquor had me like in a chokehold. The alcohol, like it literally, for me, is a disease. I can't speak on anybody else's perspective, but for me, it was a disease. The obsession of drinking liquor and alcohol, it made me feel like I was okay. So again, just going back to this because it's like the third time I went to it, and that's when the rambling get to kicking in. I'm almost done, y'all. But yeah, so I had to first admit it, right? Okay, I have a problem. And the reason what made me go ahead and admit that I had a problem, because I started off with these failed attempts, like I'm just gonna drink on the weekend. How about all throughout the week I just stay sober, which I did, no drinking, just drinking water, sodas, juices, different things like that. And then the weekend came. Let me tell y'all, I'm just being honest. I drank enough liquor on the weekend to make up for the Monday through Thursday, because it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was going hard. So I drank enough liquor on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to make up for the Monday through Thursday, all right, that I didn't drink. So it was crazy. So that didn't work. So then I was like, you know what? How about I just don't drink liquor? You know what I mean? I call it hard alcohol or hard liquor. Just drink beers. Nah. Because the minute I'm 2-3 beers in, guess what? I'm going to that liquor store to get some hard liquor. All right, I'm going to get some hard liquor. It just wasn't no way around it. And again, for me, it was no limits. I would not stop drinking until I got drunk. All right, it almost became to the point where I was like, I don't want to drink if I can't get drunk. Like, what's the purpose? Like if you're not drinking to get drunk, why drink? How about socializing, if I could talk? How about socializing, just relaxing, just taking a moment to yourself to just chill and just help you relax. A lot of people, that's what they drink for. And like I say, maybe it's social reasons, just to, to be relaxed. It all goes back to relaxing. So those are good reasons to drink if you want to drink. All right. So this video is not to convince you to stop drinking, even if you have an issue with drinking, or even if you're abusing. I'm not here to tell you to stop drinking. I'm not here to convince you to stop drinking. Okay. That's your journey. I'm sharing my journey. Me drinking is not good. Like it's keeping me from my purpose, which this is what I feel my purpose is being an inspirational speaker, and also just spreading awareness and reaching everybody that I can who may need my assistance or may need some sort of assistance, even if it's not mine, or some kind of help. So that's what it's about. I really feel like this is my purpose, y'all. So those are not my intentions, is to convince you to stop. I just want to spread awareness, and I really hope I'm helping people out. All right, so going to the next thing, like, how did I stop after so many failed attempts? Because the not drinking hard liquor and sticking to beers, that didn't work. None of that worked. All right, it just did not work. All right, so the first thing I did was, surrender. I surrendered to God, just said, God, I'm tired. I'm going to be honest with y'all, excuse my French, but I got tired of my damn self. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to quit for my wife and kids, which my wife, one thing, shout out to my wife, she never judged me. She never told me to quit. She did, let me know how she felt about the health situation. That's where I got that from. There's no way you could drink 7 days a week and that don't catch up with your health, or your body doesn't take, pay the consequences. So that's the only way she came to me with it. But, different things like that, just, I tried to do it for my wife and kids, and it went well for probably about 90 days. Yeah, I went back to drinking. And each time that you quit drinking, I'm going to tell y'all this, if you have never quit before and went back, like when you quit drinking, even if it's for a week or two, and you decide to go back, I'm telling you, it's going to be 10 times worse than when you first quit. I promise you, it's going to be like 10 times worse. At least that's how it was for me. All right, so you gotta be tired of your damn self. You gotta be fed up with the person you have become. And that leads me to my next point, or to the first point of where it all starts. So surrender to God. God knows everything, right? God created us. So God knows when you're tired. God just bring you to the point where you're tired of yourself. And so that's when I started having success. I finally got it. I was like, okay, I'm fed up with myself, breaking relationships, ruining relationships, whether it's with my little sisters, my friends, employee coworkers, different things like that. With my kids, my wife, just, ruining relationships. Now, thank God, I was able to get past it, and everybody forgave me when I apologized, because I wasn't operating in my true self. So I didn't know who I was. And to be honest, a lot of times me drinking, it was out of boredom. It was out of boredom. So just being bored, and just like, that's what gave me something to do. It was drinking. So I could forget about, it was my escape from the trauma that I was going through, the trauma I was going through with my job and different things like that. And I love to play the video games. Now I still do that. I'm gonna be honest. Look me up, Chosen Joe 03. Yeah, but no, there I go rambling. But yeah, I still play my video games, but that was my thing. I would work hard, come home, and take a shower. I got my liquor and beer on the way to the house from coming to work. So I had that, and I come in. I wouldn't even eat, y'all. I wouldn't even eat. I just come in, take a shower, get that out the way, and then I would drink. That's another thing I forgot to say. I got so used to drinking that I didn't want to eat until I drank. So when I got to the point where I felt like I had enough good and drunk, then I would get something to eat. But anyway, so yeah, I would do all that and get on the game and have my homeboys in the party, and we running it up in the rec. I like to play NBA 2K, so we would hoop in the rec, and I would drink, and different people get online, what we call randoms, and I'm cussing them out drunk, waking the whole house up. You know what I mean? I can laugh at it now, but at the time it wasn't funny. So I can laugh at it now because I'm past that. But yeah, that was my thing. So let me get to the meat of it. The biggest thing is, how did I stop? How did I quit drinking? Like I said, I already told you the first and most important one was surrender to God. Just be honest with yourself. Because you ain't got to be honest with God. God knows all anyway. So you think you're lying to God, you're lying to yourself. But just keep it real. Your life has become unmanageable. Admit that I have a problem with alcohol. I'm abusing alcohol. So once you do that, step number 2 is you got to have a made up mind. You got to make your mind up. I really need to do this for me. It may sound selfish. You may think, no, what about your wife and kids? That's a good reason. Yes, it is. But will you be successful at it? Now, let me back up. Some people may have done it, and maybe that was their way of quitting. Not for me. That I feel like it just depends on the severity, how bad you are. I was pretty bad. Like it got really bad for me. So even my wife and kids, trying to quit for them, it would not work. I had to get fed up with my damn self to the point where I was just tired. I was tired of everything. Losing sleep, wasn't sleeping well. I would literally wake up with the shakes. Like it's giving, like it's bringing chills to my body right now. Just thinking about it, I'm getting goosebumps because I remember that. Waking up hot, like, oh man, sweating, shaking. Like it was bad, y'all, I'm telling you. So I had to finally come to a place in my life where I'm just like, hey, I'm tired of myself. Like, I know if you get tired of yourself, imagine the people that's around you, your loved ones, the people who had to actually deal with you as an alcoholic on a day-to-day basis. Like, if you're tired of yourself, that's crazy, right? So imagine the people around you. You know they're tired. If you're tired of yourself, you know they're tired of you. So I made up mine. One thing about a made up mind, once you literally not just making your mind up like, I think I'm gonna make up. No, literally making up your mind. Like enough is enough, And so I remember I had a tall can of Michelob Ultra, and that was the last one. I took one last sip, and I remember standing at the kitchen sink, and I was pouring the beer down the drain, and tears was literally falling from my eyes. Like I'm crying like a baby, And shout out to my wife. She had told me, she was like, look, boy, you don't even realize you did a whole ritual and didn't even realize it. And I was like, really? Then I thought about it. I was like, okay, I can see that. She was like, yeah, because the tears, you were purifying yourself. You were fed up. And I think that was my spiritual awakening. All right. So I remember I was crying, like just pouring the beer out. Part of me probably felt like, was you crying because you was giving it up? I'm gonna be honest, that was probably part of the tears, like crying because like I was like, man, I'm actually finna do this. Because I had made up my mind, like, you have no choice. It's not an option. You have to quit, okay? Like, enough is enough. This is where we draw the line. You have to quit. And so I think it was a mixture of emotions, just thinking about, all the relationships I ruined, getting into it with people, all the dumb stuff I did while I was drunk. Now, I don't want to paint a picture. I wasn't a monster. Like, I know people who've done a lot worse than what I've done while drinking. So I don't want to be like, oh my God, what did you do? You know what I mean? So I wasn't a monster, but I definitely am a better person than I was back then. So, yeah, so I like to say that. So, but anyway, so I made up my mind. Like, that was number two, like I say. So rewind, number one was, seeking help from God, surrendering and admitting to yourself like you have an issue. And you can't do it alone. You need God. You need God. I don't care what nobody say. That's my belief. You're not going to change my mind about that. Like, again, November will make 3 years for me. And that's the longest I've ever quit drinking since the age of 16 when I first got drunk. I've never been this successful. And I don't plan on going back to drinking. All right. So that's, like I say, again, number one, just seeking help from God, because you can't not do it alone, and also admitting that your life has become unmanageable due to the abuse of alcohol. So I'm gonna make all of both of those together. Number one. Number two is having a made up mind. All right, making up your mind that, look, enough is enough. That's where I was. Enough is enough. Like, that's it. And I made up in my mind, I just cannot drink. I just can't. Like, it's not for me. All right. So again, not judging the people who do drink. If you can handle your liquor, if you can control that, you got strong willpower, you like to take a drink just to relax or to open up, to get a little more looser when you're around social, or you're at social events and you just want to loosen up a little bit. Hey, I'm not here to judge. Keep going. It even says somewhere in the Bible, even though I don't know a lot about the Bible, but I know I hear it all the time. People say, hey, it's in the Bible. It say drink and be merry. As long as you can drink and be merry. That's the thing. Let me get in the camera. Drink and be merry. Don't drink and get drunk. That was my issue. So, like I say, drinking alcohol or liquor is not the problem. The problem is the abuse. That's what I was doing. I was abusing alcohol. It wasn't a problem with me drinking. It was the abuse that was the issue. So just keep that in your mind. So, like I say, surrender to God. Admit that you have an issue or that you abuse alcohol. Number two, have a made up mind. Just go ahead and give in and make up in your mind that, hey, I cannot do this. I cannot drink. Make up in your mind that I have to stop. I don't have an option. That's what I told myself. Look, I talk to myself. I don't care. Call me what you want to call me, crazy, whatever. I will say, my wife said, you're not talking to yourself. That's your higher self talking to the person you are now. So call it what you want, no matter what you want to call it. I told myself I didn't have an option. It's not even up for debate. There's no negotiation to change this. You have to stop drinking. All right. So that's number two, made up mind. All right. What's number three? Find something to put your focus on. Find something to put your focus on besides drinking. You know what I mean? Seriously, find something else. To put your focus on other than drinking. Because literally, seriously, day one, not drinking, that is all I thought about. Man, it would be nice to drink. Normally, I would be drinking by this time. I would be having a great time. I was literally fixated on drinking. So I had to, once I learned that, or once I realized that, I was like, okay, you think about drinking so much. Find something else to put your focus on. I could have said the video games, which I did. I played the video games. That helped a little bit. But guess what I used to do while playing the video games? Drink and get drunk. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to keep playing my games, but that's not enough. And so then I had to start thinking about, go back to your childhood, right? Think about, like, you didn't come out the womb drinking. alcohol. You didn't come out the womb an alcoholic. So I'm like, I remember being a kid, I used to have like the best time in the world with my cousins, who I consider to this day like my brothers and sisters, and my actual sisters and friends. Like, whether it was riding a bike, living in the country, riding the bike through dirt roads and stuff like that, and hooping on what we call the dust bowl, dirt on the ground, and you got your goal and you're bouncing in the dirt and stuff like that, grass, playing football. It was so many of us. It was like 10 of us staying in the same house, all grandkids and cousins, and like I say, siblings. We had enough people to play football, kickball, had the best time of our lives. Liquor wasn't involved, we wasn't drinking liquor. I had to think about that, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was I able to still have fun and not drink? So I had to read. You literally have to, well, this depends on how long you have been drinking. So I'm not going to throw my age out there, but I had been drinking since I was 16. Obviously, you see, I'm not a baby. So I got a little age on me. I'm not old, but I'm definitely not young. So let's just say this. It was definitely over 20 years. All right. That's a long time to be abusing alcohol. All right. So I had to relearn how to have fun without drinking, without being drunk. It was weird. Like, I felt weird, like going to social events and being around friends and seeing them drink. And I'm like, man, that sure look fun. I sure miss it. So, yeah, you literally had to I did, should I say. I had to relearn how to have fun. So I got to thinking, what's something that I always wanted to do? It wasn't nothing but God speaking through my wife, because she asked me that. Think about something, babe, because I told her I'm struggling. I told her I'm struggling. I'm struggling trying to find something else to put my focus on, because I keep thinking about drinking, because it was so bad. So she was like, well, babe, just think about something that, you always wanted to do as a kid, and maybe you didn't get to do it. Aha moment. Aha. Light bulb. Lights up. Like nothing. Instantly. Martial arts. I've always wanted to do martial arts. You know what I mean? I come from a small town. Shout out to Brinkley. Exit 216, what you mean? Nah, for real. That's what we used to say, though. Or at least that's what I used to say. But, shout out to Brinkley. Small town. We didn't have martial arts, or not that I know of. If we did, like I say, you got my grandma and my mother. My father was locked up, but my mother and my grandmother, we was predominantly raised and lived with our grandma. But my mother was definitely in our lives. She picked us up every other week, spring break, summer vacations. She was always picking us up, holidays. So my mother was definitely in our lives as well. Excuse me. So between grandma and mom, like, they were in our lives, and I forgot, I lost my place. I'm sorry. So, talking about martial arts. I'm sorry. That's how much I ramble, y'all. I forget where I was going with it. So, even if we did have martial arts in Brinkley, in the small town I was at, more than likely they probably couldn't afford it, because it's not cheap. I'm just being honest with you. The money you spend is worth it, but it's not cheap. So if you ever thinking about getting into martial arts, you can afford it if you put your mind to it, like I did. Which is, I'm gonna get to the next point on like benefits. So that's gonna kind of tie into the martial arts. So you'll see where I'm going with this. But for me, I was like, martial arts, why not? You know what I mean? I can afford it now, and I'll tell y'all why. We'll get into the benefits of quitting alcohol. But yeah, I was able to afford it. I'm like, why not? Yeah, I'm a little up there in age, but I've always been active. I played football, basketball. I just always been an active, energetic kid and adult. So I'm like, let's do it. I was so excited. So I went, joined. Like I say, it's pretty pricey, so I kind of got discouraged. But guess what? This is how I was able to look past the price, right? I used to spend so much money on liquor. And again, I'm not trying to brag, by no means am I not trying to brag. I'm very humble, coming from a humble place when I say this, but I used to spend a lot of money on alcohol, and that's one of the things is because I drank 7 days a week, liquor and beer, and on top of that, I didn't like cheap liquor, cheap beer. Like I'm not gonna say I had the most expensive, but I didn't want no cheap stuff. And it's because when I was younger, 16, when I first started, we used to drink a whole lot of cheap liquor and beer because that's all we can afford, right? And so one would say, well, you shouldn't have been drinking anyway. That's probably why you couldn't afford it, because you shouldn't have been doing it, right? So like I say, I've been pretty successful in working jobs and stuff. So I was able to afford my habit and buy a pretty decent quality liquor. So anyway, so this is what I had to relearn and trick myself into thinking. I'm not even going to say trick myself. That's just reality. I'm like, oh, so you're looking at martial arts. Yes, it's high, but think about how much you used to spend on liquor and beer. You know what I mean? A month. Because it's a monthly payment to do the martial arts, right? So I was looking at that price and I was like, man, it's pretty steep. Oh, but when it came down to liquor and beer, think about what you spent on liquor and beer, per month. How much did you spend? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm almost ashamed to tell y'all, but I can't bring it up to the exact dollar amount, but I will say it was probably equivalent to a damn utility bill. Yes. So that's the higher self. That's God in me, because we're connected, right? That's God, which is my higher self, telling myself. Again, some people say you talking to yourself. Oh, but the amount you were spending on liquor once a month, that was okay. You didn't look at that like, that was too high or too much money. What you tell yourself, well, you work hard, you play hard. You deserve it. Look how hard you work. This is all that obsession, that disease is telling you this. It's telling you to think like this, right? That's what liquor do to y'all. It messes with your mental. It do to us. I'm saying y'all, what it do to us. All right. So I had to get over that. That's the way of getting past that. Like, hey, you spent this amount. I'm gonna be honest. I spent more money on liquor and beer than what I'm spending for martial arts. So I'm taking all day to get to the point of it. I joined martial arts, and matter of fact, check it out. You can see it right there. My bad. I forgot, like look at what I've accomplished in the last 2 years. Those are all the belts. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day and just tell y'all about each belt. But as you can see, and I'm still not done. I'm still not black belt. Right now I'm red black. I'm red black belt. But yeah, I forgot about that. I got my belt rack. So y'all were probably like, what is that in the background? So yeah, again, I don't really do a lot of YouTube videos. So yeah, I got in martial arts and I loved it. From the self-awareness, self-discipline. Everybody think it's about fighting. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I never really struggled with fighting, but it does help you structure what you already know. It's self-awareness. It's really about self-discipline. That's what I went for. A lot of people are like, oh man, you at this age, you just now trying to learn how to fight? No, I've always known how to fight. You know what I'm saying? I just want to, again, not coming from an egotistical place or arrogance and nothing like that. I come from a small town. We didn't have much to do. So fighting, we did that a lot. You know what I mean? So anyway, I didn't go to martial arts to learn how to fight. Again, we're talking about finding something else to put your focus on. And for me, my wife was like, again, think about something you always wanted to do as a kid or even in your adult life and you didn't get to do it. Martial arts. So drinking for me was a hobby. All right. So I replaced that hobby, which was totally bad for me, like 100% bad for me. I replaced that with an actual hobby that actually bettered me. You know what I mean? It was better for me. Like I say, I'm no longer short fuse. Still kind of got a high temper or quick temper just because that's just in my genes. But I can manage it better. Self-awareness, emotional intelligence, fitness. Oh my God. Like this is probably the most fit I've ever been since I was in high school playing football or basketball. When I say the abs, brrr, washboard. You know what I'm saying? Washboard. Nah, seriously though. I'm more lean. I stopped eating meat probably about 2 years ago, going on 3 years now. So yeah, I stopped eating meat, so I'm more lean, I'm more energetic. Like I say, I'm more calm when confrontation comes on or along. I'm more peaceful. So martial arts, I'm telling y'all, if that's something you want to look into, thinking about doing it, but just probably like, I don't know, is that for me? Try it out. I tried it out and I've been in it ever since. I love martial arts. And then to give you a chance to interact with the youth. That's one of my goals, is start my own mentoring program for the youth, and try to save them a lot of heartache and pain that I went through coming up because of my bad decisions. So different things like that. But anyway, martial arts was it for me. That's what I put my focus on. And I got so much passion for it because it's something I always wanted to do. So don't just think of just something or anything to put your focus on. Find something that you may or may not like, that you at least think you have a passion for, and something you always wanted to do. And that worked out for me. So it made it easier for me to not drink. Because I had, even when I was drinking, I wanted to do martial arts, but I was just like, I always hung over. And so when you hung over, you don't really feel like doing nothing physical like that. You trying to recuperate and recover from that whole pint that you just drunk last night in a 6-pack. You ain't gonna feel like getting out there, yeah. You ain't gonna feel like doing that, doing different forms and different things like that. You're not gonna feel like doing that. Running around, jumping around, kicking, punching, swinging, ducking, different things like that, doing your forms, bringing weapons and different things like that, and working with those things like that. So you're not gonna feel like doing that when you drunk or got a hangover. So it worked out for me. So that's the next step, is just find something else to put your focus on. All right. And this next one is going to be very, very cliche because you hear it all the time, but take it one day at a time. Like literally, you have to take it one day at a time. And I'm telling you, because once you stop drinking, that doesn't mean all your issues go away. I can tell you that for sure. People still gonna get on your nerves. If not, it's gonna be worse because you're no longer drinking. So where you had something to escape to, which would be the bottle, you're drinking yourself in a pool of liquor, that was the escape. So now you're no longer doing that. So guess what my escape was? The video game and martial arts. So when people piss me off, I'm finna have a good class today because I'm finna wear that bag out. You know what I mean? I don't take it out in sparring because I don't want to hurt anybody or don't want to get hurt. So I don't want to come with bad energy in a sparring session. But I'm finna go hard though. And I'm trying to learn if I lose the sparring session, what could I have done different to win next time? So all that's taken into account. But anyway, so yeah, man, take it one day at a time because like issues are gonna happen. People gonna get on your nerves. Like I say, you're gonna probably, starting out at least, you're gonna be more irritable because your body is so used to having liquor in it. So it's like, wait, what's going on? Like no liquor, I'm used to having, that's your body. I'm used to having liquor in my system. What are we doing? So that's gonna cause you to automatically get irritable, annoyed. So just take it one day at a time. Remember the goal. Remember the mission. Remember that you made a promise to yourself and God that enough is enough. I'm no longer doing this. And you'll be just fine. All right. Is it easy starting out? No, it's not. By no means. I promise you. Believe it or not, like I say, November will make 3 years for me. Guess what? I am not lying to y'all. I still to this day would like to drink. Just being honest. I'm just there it is. I'm throwing it out there. I still to this day have the urge to drink liquor and alcohol. I'm just going to be 100% honest. Now, some people who've been going on, they may tell you like, it's been a year for me, I don't even think about drinking anymore. I'm not gonna say that's a lie, but that's definitely not the case for me. So I don't know if the urge will ever leave. If I could talk, I don't know if the urge to not drink, or I'm sorry, I don't know if the urge to drink will ever leave from me. Uh, I don't know. I can't answer that question right now. All I know is right now, still to this day, I have thoughts like, man, a nice cold drink or a nice glass of scotch would be nice. You know what I mean? It's hard, y'all. I promise y'all. Not by no means am I saying it's easy, but it's worth it. That's what you got to decide. You got to think about all the things that you did when you were getting drunk, when you were alcoholic, the person that you were, even if you weren't a monster. Because like I say, I don't think I was a monster. I don't think I was the worst person in the world. I still had good qualities about myself. Still was a good person. But that's even more reason why I just can't believe that I allowed it to get to the point where that it did. It was just bad, y'all. So things are going to happen that cause you to want to drink. You just got to remember the journey, remember the goal, the mission, you know, and that's what helps me out a lot. That's what keeps me from drinking. First, I think about the promise I made to God and myself because I value that. All right. Don't make a promise if you don't value it. I'm all over the place. But yeah, I value my promise. I value my promise that I made to God. I value the promise that I made to myself, to my wife, to my kids, to all my loved ones, you know? So that helps me not go back. But the urge is still there. I'm not going to sit here in front to y'all and lie and say I don't think about drinking. I think about it every single day, especially when I come across difficult experiences and different occurrences that makes me frustrated. I think that's one of the first things I think about is drinking. But is it worth it? I can't go back. I refuse to go back. So take it one day at a time. Time makes it easier. Invest the time in not drinking. Keep doing your martial arts or playing your video game or whatever makes you happy. Whatever you wanted to do that you didn't get to do because you were drinking. Hold on to that. Embrace that. Don't let go of that. Because other than God, always God first. But other than God, from a worldly perspective, I'm telling you, that's going to be your go-to. That's going to be your best friend. That thing that you selected, that you're very passionate about, that you always wanted to do, hold on to that. That's going to, other than God, that's going to be your best friend. All right? I will say, though, it does, although the urge is there, again, time makes it easier. This is going a lot longer than I thought it was. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's so worth it. So worth it. When it comes down to friends, not all friends are going to be on board with this. For one, they're going to see the growth in you, and it's going to be a change for them, even though it's a change for the better. But they're going to be they're so used to the person that you were when you were an alcoholic. Maybe y'all did things together like clubbed and went out and, you know, got drunk and just had a great time, you know, and that's fine. You know what I mean? So not everybody is going to be on board with the change, even though it's for the good, for your good, to better yourself. They're not always going to be on board. So just be careful when you tell your friends, or be careful about telling your friends that you quit. Now, if they're true friends, or if they're like real friends, they're going to support you. They're going to be like, oh, and that's how you go. And let me back up. That's how you're going to be able to tell the real from the fake. That's how you're going to be able to tell who really got your back, who's really in your corner, who's really rooting for you, who's really there for support, because that's exactly what they're going to do. If you decide to tell them that you quit drinking, they're going to be rooting for you. Those are the real friends. Even if they drink, they're going to support you. All right? I'm going to be honest. You're going to have some of them friends that if you tell them you quit drinking, they're going to offer you more drinks. They're going to offer you ain't never bought me a drink. But now that you now that you've heard or I've told you that I quit drinking, now you offer me 6 packs of beer, or man, I went and got me a pint of Hennessy. I figure I get you one too. What you do that for? I told you I don't drink anymore. Oh man, man, you said that before. I have, but this time I got a what? A made up mind over matter. I made up in my mind that I have no other option. I have to quit, right? I said all that to say about friends, you may have to distance yourself. I'm not saying cut them off. I'm not saying hate them. You still love them. You may have to just distance yourself a bit from them. Whether that means not going to see them as much or just not judging them, right? You're not judging them, but you may have to distance themselves. I call it loving that person from a distance. You can still check in with them or check in on them and call them and check on, see how they're doing, just make sure they're well. But that distance, you may have to create some distance so they can see that you for real, that you're not playing, that like you serious about this. You serious about quitting alcohol or quit drinking alcohol. Like you got to show them now I guarantee you when you start distancing yourself, if I can speak, when you create that distance, they gonna get it. Man, he for real this time. Oh yeah, because I don't move the same. You know what I'm saying? Not here to judge you. It's not for me, man. Like it's not for me. So I don't like the person I have become. So I'm trying to better myself. And again, that's when you get to figure out who's really your friend and who's not. If they're a real friend, they're gonna be like, man, hey, I'm here to support you. Let me know if it's anything. Even if they still drink, that's fine. I never asked, when I first stopped drinking, I never asked anyone else to stop drinking with me, right? Because again, everybody, everybody have their own journey. Everybody have their own path. So who am I to stop drinking and tell you, oh man, I stopped drinking, you should stop drinking too. No, sir, no ma'am, I'm not here for that. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. I got to do this for me. This is my journey. Yeah. So anyway, so again, you may have to distance yourself from some friends, or I'm going to be honest, some family. Let's just call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You may have to distance yourself from some family members too. Because where I'm talking about friends, you also have some family members that I'm just like, are you for real right now? Yeah. So you may have to distance yourself from some friends and loved ones, all right? We almost there. So like I say, it does start off boring, I'm going to be honest, but time makes it easier and easier. Just don't forget the goal. Don't forget the mission. Don't forget the promise you made to yourself, to God and yourself. If you choose to do so, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with it if you value the promises you make. So that's key. That's key. Promises mean a lot when you value them. And when you value not breaking that promise, keeping your promise, should I say. So if you value keeping your promise, I guarantee you, never forget that promise that you made to God. If you decide to do so, don't forget the promise that you made to God and you made to yourself. And just remember the mission. Remember the goal. Remember, Jonelle, you don't have an option. Chosen Joe, you don't have an option, man. There's no way around it. You have to stop drinking. You can no longer drink, man. There's no more. Well, now that and one don't fall in this trap either. And I promise y'all, I'm almost done. I'm gonna hit y'all with the benefits, and that's it. I promise you. So it'll probably be a video where it's supposed to be 30 minutes. It's an hour. I can't help it, y'all. That's why I'm doing this, right? I told y'all I like to talk, but this is serious though. This is how passionate I am about it. So I lost my train of thought. Seriously, I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. But yeah, it starts off boring, but I promise you, you can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it, because I was down bad, man. I was down bad, for real. So it gets easier as time go by. I'm not saying it'll make the urge disappear, but yeah, it gets easier as time goes. So like I say, don't forget the goal. Don't forget your mission. Don't forget your promise. First of all, if you decide to do so, it definitely worked for me. That's how I'm able to keep going without drinking. And like I say, let's do it together. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, and even if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We may have to agree to disagree, but that's what worked for me, family. So yeah, so like I say, just keep at it. I promise you, it's gonna get easier and easier. Time makes it easier, and you'll be just fine. Okay. Benefits, last but not least, for me, benefits of quitting. So more money. I told y'all when I got to the martial arts, I told y'all I put that together. So that's the part I was talking about when I say we'll talk about the benefits. More money. So when I was drinking, when I was an alcoholic and I was spending all this money, like for real, more than some people utility bills, at least one, I couldn't have been able to afford to keep drinking how I was drinking financially and also be able to afford martial arts, the class. There was no way around it. So that's how I was able to pick up this hobby that I always wanted to do, put my focus on it to help distract me from wanting to drink alcohol and liquor. It was the martial arts. But again, I couldn't afford to drink and do martial arts at the same time. All right. So more money. Y'all will be so, like, seriously, y'all will be shocked. When I look at my bank statements of when I was drinking and compare it to now that I'm sober, so much more money in my pocket. So more money, more sleep, better sleep. So now that I don't drink at all, I can actually go to sleep at a decent time. All right. And I sleep better. There was no waking up in the middle of the night with hot flashes. There was no waking up with the shakes, waking up sweating and all grouchy, hungover. None of that. Better sleep. All right. Better relationships. All right. I feel like my wife enjoy me more. My kids enjoy me more. My coworkers, friends, family, period. Everybody. It's improved my relationships with everybody. You know what I mean? I was able to make amends and apologize and mean it sincerely, not making excuses, taking 100% responsibility for what Jonell did when he was drinking, not pointing the fingers. So better relationships, more clarity, more clear-minded. I make more sound decisions, all right? I think better. I'm more sharper at work, which... that's another video for another day. We'll talk about, maybe I'll make that my next video. We talk about the job and how all that's going. But performing better at work and, just different things like that. So more clarity. And most of all, the most important one, better health. All right? Better health. I feel better. You know what I mean? I know I'm better. High blood pressure. I was kind of suffering from that. Didn't realize that liquor caused high blood pressure. Blood pressure, great readings now. Blood pressure reading is great. Stress level is lower. Like I say, just all around, just good stuff. So those are the benefits. Again, more money, more sleep, better relationships, more clarity, and better health. So forgive me, I'm looking down at my notes, but it really didn't help out that much. But at least I did stay on task a little bit more. So, hey, that's it, man. I'm sorry I apologize. I took an hour. I'm looking at the time right now. We at 59 minutes. So, yeah, it took a whole hour where it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I promise y'all, every video will not be that long. All right, so if you like this video, if you like this content, please do me a favor and actually like it. Please subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing. I would love to have you on board. And like I say, this is Righteous Vibrations. Righteous Vibrations. Can't even say the own name of my platform. So yeah, Righteous Vibrations. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get the alerts of when I'm posting. And thank y'all for sitting through this video. Hopefully I helped someone. Don't be afraid to share it. Share it with somebody that you know that may be struggling with alcohol and liquor. So till next time, peace and many blessings. All right. Shout out to everybody that helped me out throughout my journey, and I hope the rest of y'all day or night, depending on when you watch this, I hope it goes well, all right? I'm going to claim that it goes well. Love y'all. Talk to you in the next one.